Have you recently attended an interview and you have seen some body languages or signals or even some verbal clues from your interviewer that gets you a little bit excited? And even before you go into an interview, you might be pretty worried and scared. You're constantly thinking, oh, what if I screw this interview up? What should I do? So today in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 signs that you see from interviewers that indicate that you're going to get the job offer. Now this is an exciting topic because lots of people don't really talk about what are the signals that interviewers are giving out to candidates that show they really like this candidate, because most of us really focus on the negatives and the things that you should be avoiding to do. And if you see any of these indications or signals, or even a combination of a few, then it shows like you are very likely to get your job offer and you did well in this interview. Now the disclaimer is, this is not to guarantee that you're 100% going to get the job offer, but if you have seen the signals, then you're more likely to get a job offer and a positive response from the company. And the video is based on my own experience of interviewing with lots of companies in the past as a candidate, as well as being an interviewer on the side of the table looking at different candidates. And we will understand as a recruiter, when you're screening through hundreds of applications and then finally you see one of the few or a few ones that made you really happy, then naturally you're going to give out some clues. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 ones that you should be paying attention to during your interview. So the first positive sign is when you notice the conversation turns more casual. As we all know, interviewing is all about being professional and business, and most of the conversation that you're going to have is going to be pretty professional, and you should really keep up a professional face as long as you can. But when the conversation from the interviewer starts to become more casual and more informal, when they start asking you more personal questions, that usually means they are impressed by your performance so far during the interview. What this means usually so far is your interviewers are happy about what your answers are so far, as well as your behavior and qualifications, professional qualifications. Therefore now, they actually want to get to know you on a personal level. Then the second sign is when you get a positive response from your follow-up. As I always advocate, all of us should send a follow-up email to your interviewers, whether they are HR or actually working in a team. Sending out follow-up emails is always a good practice to express your gratitude towards the interview opportunity, but it's a great chance to finally pitch yourself and wrap everything up again for the interviewer. But for most of the time, because interviewers, they have so many emails in their inbox and they have a lot of candidates that they need to reply, so they don't necessarily send reply to each of the follow-up email. So if you actually receive first a positive response, second a prompt response from your interviewer after you send out the follow-up email, then usually this is a good sign. Because what this means is they are interested in you, they want to address your questions, that you are being put on top of a priority list on top of other candidates. Then the third positive signal that indicates you might get a job offer is the positive body language from your interviewers. Now, these are the non-verbal clues that you need to be paying attention to because these are more subtle. And some of the good signs include constant eye contact, as well as occasional nodding and smiling. Because this shows the interviewer is very interested in hearing what you have to say, and at the same time, the fact that they're nodding and smiling means they are in agreement with what you have said and they're happy with your interview answers. Then, building on top of this, the next positive signal that you can get is actually verbal clues. You don't have to entirely rely on non-verbal clues in order to figure out if they like you, if you did well in an interview. Oftentimes, some interviewers, which are more outspoken than others, they will actually say this is a good answer or show indication that they really like what you have told them. And depending on the personality of each interviewer, some of them, they will be saying, yes, this is great, I love your answer, or some of them even say, I am actually impressed by what you have done so far. So when you hear these positive responses from interviewers, definitely this is a strong yes that you are very likely to get the job offer. And the last positive signal that they might hire you is when they ask you about your impression of the company. Now, this is actually a very interesting question because in the first half of the interview, they're all asking you questions about yourself, and then you need to pitch yourself and then sell yourself during these interview sessions. But when they ask you the impression about the company, now the table has turned. And this is when they are going to sell you the company, the position, and the culture. By asking this question, they're going to gauge your reaction and your understanding about the company and potentially overcome any objections that you might have. So understanding and picking up these details would help you to become more confident after the interview. And in the worst scenario, even if they reject you after the interview, now you understand you have a lot to bring to the company, and then you have received recognition on who you are, what skills you can bring, and your experiences. Another benefit of being observant during the interviews is to understand how much they like you and how much they want to bring you to the team, which will be very beneficial for your salary negotiation later. Because remember, interviewer is a two-way conversation. You are assessing the interviewer while they're assessing you at the same time. Once again, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe and check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.